better world. Ooh, you never bring me down. You never bring me down. You never bring me down. You stand up, I hear you talking. Put my stride in when I'm walking. You never bring me down. I thought I never understood the rules, yeah, yeah. Standing up for something good. I know that it might take some time to believe, yeah, yeah. But maybe I can make this right. Oh no, I'll keep on fighting. Watch me go. I'll be living in a better world. Ooh, you never bring me down. You never bring me down. You never bring me down. You stand up, I hear you talking. Put my stride in when I'm walking. Ooh, you never bring me down. 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 just a fool. I'm so blue, yeah. I know that I can make it through. I'll keep on fighting. Watch me go. I'll be living in a better world. Ooh, you never bring me down. Understood the rules, yeah, yeah. Standing up for something good. I know that it might take some time to believe, yeah, yeah. But maybe I can make this right. Oh no, I'll keep on fighting. Watch me go. I'll be living in a better world. Ooh, you never bring me down. You never bring me down. You never bring me down. Listen up, I hear you talking. Put my stride in where I'm walking. You never bring me down. You never bring me down.
Fire away.
Steve, can you delve into a little bit how the Justin Faulk trade came together and the urgency regarding upgrading on defense?
Well, like trades come together, like they always do, especially at the deadline. You call around, identify your needs, you call around, see who may have what you need in any particular position. And then you kind of work away at your options and what the cost of it is, and you weigh it all and then make a decision. Do you want to do it or not want to do it? So, overall, throughout the course of the season, standings-wise, we're in a pretty good spot. Looking at, with a young decor that we had some new faces this year, and just off the top of my head with Axel playing, and truthfully, we at the end of last season we projected him to be in GR. Played very well and has really helped us. Jacob Bernard-Docker, who we signed as a free agent, has really helped us and been a very good player. And in the time he's in the lineup, Travis Simonik has done what we've expected and needed him to do, and he's been a good soldier and played in the right, did whatever he could and has handled the role as good as we could ask. We felt, we're asking a lot of Axe to play in that 4 spot, or the second pair on the right side. Ultimately, we'll see how this thing shakes out, but in acquiring a guy that's played in the top 4, played in all situations, solidifies our decor a little bit.
Steve, did the roster freeze with the Olympic break and then the changes to the salary cap, did that impact or affect at all how you guys approached and even navigated the deadline?
No, the Olympic break was, had no impact on how we handled the deadline. The salary cap, I think, affected every team at the deadline here, meaning, teams could keep their players or had the option of keeping their players, and just everybody's got more cap space, and a lot more teams, I should say, have more cap space, which gives them more flexibility. So how it affected their trades and whatnot, I got to look at everything now. It wasn't really an impact on us. I'm guessing there was less need for teams to retain salary in some of the trades with the cap going up. There aren't as many teams that are jammed tight to it as they've been in the last few years, but neither really affected our approach.
Steve, what went into the decision to reacquire David Perron? How concerned are you about the fact that he's still on IR, and also how much of an interest was there in other names of major forwards out there like Robert Thomas or an Elias Peterson?
Well, I'll start with, we know exactly, when you make a trade, you dig in on the players and their health and whatnot. We're entitled, although we can't do a physical, although if a player were to come and not be healthy potentially, or anything disclosed on a trade call, you have the option of filing a grievance. So we share all the information on these players, and we know exactly what David's injury is. We know exactly where he is in his rehab, and we anticipate him being 14 days away roughly from playing, and we're comfortable to do that, make this trade with him. We think he brings a lot to our table. We had him before. We really liked him. He brought a lot to our team on and off the ice. And in 14 days, we think he'll be back. We expect him. Setbacks can happen. There is some risk to acquiring a player that is on IR, but even a healthy guy could step on the ice tonight and get hurt. But again, we know exactly where he's at in his rehab. We know the procedure. We expect him to be 100% in approximately 2 weeks, and we're okay with that. And I know there was a second part to your question. Oh, sorry. I can't comment on other teams' players, but I would say to you, for what we felt our needs were, we talked to every team that had players with our needs and talked about the possibility of a deal, explored trades, what the fits were, what we were willing to do. Some there was just no fit as what the other team was looking for. We didn't have that. and others, the deal just wouldn't work. So safe to say, all of our needs, we talk to every team that has those type of players, and we're willing to move them.
Yeah, so it was kind of my question there, Steve. I mean, were you close to a lot of things today, or was it kind of slow, basically, or this trade deadline compared to others of previous years?
I haven't seen what all has happened today, so I'm not really sure. Our specific needs, we were looking for a forward and a D-man, and we were able to address both. We looked at a lot of different things and big deals, and most of the deals players we're talking about where it was involving our picks and our prospects, and were we ultimately close on other things? Up front on the forwards, probably not. We knew that going back a few days that we're probably not going to get any of the big names out there, whatever you want to call it. But on the D, you're going back and forth and trying to pin it down, and the teams that you're talking to, ultimately we don't know what they're doing on the other end and not sharing it with us. So it's a little bit of you're kind of guessing, a little bit of poker maybe, and ultimately we were looking at different options, varying options, even like less expensive deals or whatnot for potential D-man. So there's very, older, younger, late round pick, mid round pick, things like that, prospects. So a lot of things to talk about, and this was what we felt was what we had to give up, the best fit.
Steve, I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't ever recall a player going for 3 second-round picks, right before the trade deadline, and there seemed like the cost of players was higher. And of course, you knew, and you're very experienced at doing this, what they were asking for it. But when teams started to pay those prices, did you get a little concerned about what you were going to be able to accomplish, or did you think, I'll figure out a way to get it done?
Yeah, concerned. It's just uncertainty. You don't really know, and it's funny. We all value players differently, and we're all in different situations as far as where we are in our goals and our expectations. So, some deals we all might scratch our head at, but you understand why and why they get done. So. Sometimes some deals, and when you're a seller, you're looking at one deal and it's like, geez, like I got a more valuable player than that. He scored more, he has more term or whatnot. Why can I not get that for the player? It's a funny time, and every team is at a different stage, different expectations. Those teams that are all in and going for it, you see them, they're more willing, their picks are later and whatnot. They're just more willing to throw them out there, where teams in our situation, you're a little bit more hesitant to be just throwing your picks and prospects because we've got work to do.
And then your thoughts on the Elmer Soderblom trade?
Well, Elmer hasn't he's been in and out of our lineup, and ultimately we're not like trying to throw everything in, and we felt like I've got a third round pick for Elmer. Part of our trade with St. Louis was a third round pick. We're able to, that had some decision or some influence in making the decision to move him, and we feel we have players that can, with the addition of David Perron and players within our own system, that if it's kind of in that 13th forward role, we can fill that role from within. So we recoup a third-round pick, which we gave up in the trade for Justin Faulk, and that was it. We just felt if Elmer's going to be in that 13th forward role, getting a third-round pick is pretty good value, and we got players in the system that we can put into that 13th forward role.
Steve, after the team struggled the last couple of Marches, how much better do you feel about this roster now, just with these two moves and just with what you've already had?
Well, the experience for particularly the younger players over the last couple of years, it's either, they know it's getting more difficult this time of year. I think that benefits our team. We add another, what we consider a top 4 defenseman to kind of solidify our decor. I think we're a little bit deeper. We have a little, it's been a little bit spotty lately, but recently we've gotten more scoring, and throughout the course of the season, we've gotten more scoring out of our bottom 6. Todd talked about it last week, but we went through a stretch there where we needed some production, and coincidentally, you see us winning more games, and look at the games there, we're getting a goal here and there. So I think we have a little bit more depth, and I think the trades that we make, and DP's out for 2 weeks, but I think we're stronger going down the stretch here this season.
And also, is that first round pick protected in any way?
No.
Okay.
Steve, you talked about more teams being able to keep their players. Faulk obviously has a year of term. Did you feel like that was part of kind of the market factor this year, was drier free agency markets, and maybe accelerate the need to get a guy with some term?
Well, it makes it a little bit easier to justify giving up a first-round pick. We got him for the remainder of this year and next year, and what we do beyond that, I'm not sure. So it makes it a little bit easier. I don't think right now where we're at that, and I'm not saying I wouldn't ever do it, but right now I don't know that we're in that rental market just for 1 year. You might consider this a rental. It's just a 2-year rental, I guess, Well, we'll see after that. It just makes it easier. Like, we have him for another season, and there's value in that as well.
And then with Axel, I know you guys made him playoff eligible for the American League today. Do you see him finishing out the year here? Is it possible that he could play? I know he's only played 11, 12 minutes some of the last few games.
Yeah, well, he'll play. He's playing tonight. We just wanted, number one, we wanted to make him eligible to play down there. I don't know what happens from here on in, but Justin Faulk, we expect him to join us for New Jersey, and I'll sit down with Todd here and in the next day to see what his plan is for our decor, and we'll just kind of play it, like, we'll see how this all plays out. We feel we have good depth on D. Ultimately, whoever it is, if it's a young player that's just like, just you mentioned Axe specifically, so if he's sitting in the stands and not playing, and I don't know that that's going to happen, I'm not sure what Todd will do with the lineup, and performance will ultimately decide that. But it gives us the option to assign him there, and come playoff time, we can make that decision. It just gives us the option. We have the 5 recalls, and just use the 1 recall, bring him right back, and we'll go from there.
Steve, you said early on you kind of knew you weren't going to be in on those big-name forwards, that you weren't going to be able to get them. Was that because the prices were too high or going to be too high, or were you not yet prepared to make that big of a move, like for one of those names?
We're prepared to make that move for the right player. Now, we're not going to go throw first-round picks and multiple prospects in for a player that's going to be here for 1 or 2 years. I think we would all agree that that's probably not the right way to go. If we're going to do that, that type of a deal, it had to be for a player that one, we really, really value the player, and then 2, he's going to be a part of this for the long term. I'll say that. Because
a lot of those big names didn't get moved, does that kind of indicate the prices were astronomical or up there?
I guess here's what I would say, and is in some instances, when talking with the team, this is what we want for the player, and if we don't get it, we're perfectly happy to keep them. So, so they're obviously negotiating from a real position of strength, and that's not we're not in a position to, and you know what, for the right player, we'll do what we have to do, but this wasn't an option here for us to consider at this time.
Steve, I totally understand. Over here to the side. Good to see you, Ken. I totally understand your focus is on your own team right now, but when you look across the league right now, Buffalo, Minnesota, Colorado come to mind. What teams do you think position themselves well at this deadline going forward when you look at the competition?
Well, again, Trev, I haven't assessed like what happened today, and things can change, but I'm not sure I want to say, because I don't want to be bulletin board fodder for one of our opponents along the way here. But our division is really difficult, and making the playoffs in our division is still going to be a challenge, and we got to play well. And then, whoever, if you do make the playoffs, any opponent is going to be really difficult. And the West, I'm not too worried about the West. I'm focused on the East.
Steve, do Perron and Faulk have some qualities that are suited for the stretch run in the playoffs, A? And then B, what do you want to see from your group as a whole as they attack, the hockey getting harder here? Like, what specifically do you want to see from this team as it tries to clinch a playoff spot?
I'll go back to the Vegas game. We're winning 3-1, and we got to keep going. You can't sit back. You got to keep playing, and that's a little bit of a habit we've had in some games where we've had a good lead, and I want to see us play and make plays and can play with confidence. And because we got a lot of good hockey players, and we've at times played really, really good hockey. And I look at the Vegas game, and I watched the game in Buffalo the night before, and they fell behind, and they just kept plugging away, and they're a veteran, experienced team, and they don't get rattled, they didn't get frustrated, they just kind of kept plugging away. And for us, we're just kind of was like we're in, going to a bit of a defensive shell, and it's like encourage our guys to keep making plays, keep making them under pressure, and in tight situations, not irresponsible or careless, but make plays. And that's what I want to see us do, is play with confidence, use your skill and make plays, use your brain probably even more than skill, make the right play. Sometimes the right play is, just get it out, but other times the right play is you have time and you got a player open, take that time and find it and move. So that would be number one for us. And then it's just, again, these games are getting harder. We witnessed it the last couple of years, and we're in the similar situation, maybe not as good, but similar. And it's like, guys, it gets harder. We got to keep plugging away every game and find a way to get points. And for the most part this year, we've had a lot of games where we managed to get a point out of it. That's good. Let's just keep adding points. And so it's kind of hanging in there and being strong, and not just, you fall behind. You just got to keep going, because who knows? Oh, I think so. Yeah, I know Justin Faulk to say hello. Run into him. I have not been a part of a team with him. Certainly over. I know a lot in prior to this trade, but in the past, I know a lot of players that he's played with. Some early in his career that I played with. So, and then even we acquired David, and I call him. And tell me about Justin Faulk and his attitude and what he's like and everything, and nothing I hadn't already known, but he's an experienced veteran. He's been around a long time, knows it, and we know David, and you guys know David, and he's a competitor and shows up in big moments, plays his best hockey in important times and in the playoffs. And and watching him even, last year in Ottawa, and playing against them, and then watching him in the playoffs for Ottawa, and then he didn't play last game here when we were in Ottawa, but our first visit in there, he was really good. He was really impactful on the ice and in the areas that he's really strong in, and it's like, it was stood in the back of my mind. And as we got closer to the deadline, knowing that he might be available and the cost wasn't astronomical, we think we feel that's reasonable value, that I think he can help us. We just got to get to the 2 weeks, get him back in the lineup. But a couple of veteran guys that have been through a lot and have done well in the pressure situations in important games. So I think that helps our whole group. It takes the load off Dylan. It takes the load off the guys that are asked to do a lot on and off the ice.
Steve, David's a bit of a rare breed in today's game, and in the way he kind of combines the edge he plays with the skill that he brings. Seems to be especially valuable in games like you guys will play down the stretch. Does he remind you of anyone that you played with or against during your career?
Well, I would agree with you in that. Like he's very competitive. He works hard. He's a good combination of. He's got good puck skills. He's got good sense, and he does play hard. He's probably a lot bigger and stronger than maybe even looks. Like he's a powerfully built guy. So, you put me on the spot. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody.
And then most of your deadlines here, you've either stood pat or been selling. Was this the most urgent you felt as GM here to make a significant upgrade to your roster? And I guess what informed that, if so?
Well, a different certainly approach. I think every deadline that's had some urgency, whether you're a buyer or a seller, trying to maximize. Even when you're a seller, we all look around and judge, and how did this team do? How did that team do? So there's urgency every deadline to try and accomplish what your goals are with that deadline. This season again, our team has put themselves in a pretty good position. And again, the players that we acquired for what it cost us to acquire them, we think it was, I feel, and we as a staff felt it was justified to try and improve our team and give us a better chance of making the playoffs and having any success in the playoffs. So you kind of, each year you have a long-term plan, and each year you kind of got to adjust that plan a little bit based on where you are. And today we're sitting in a playoff spot, and we want to stay there, and we'd like to make the playoffs. And we feel we're able to do that. It's hard to give up a first-round pick, it really is. But we feel like we have some good young prospects. We traded a good young winger and Buchelnikov, who we really like, but we feel on our team and within our system, we got wingers that if one thing that we can afford to use would be maybe a winger. And the first round pick is a tough thing for us to move, but if we are able to make the playoffs, we stay somewhere where we are. At some point, you got to give up something good. And in today's market, if you're not giving up a first, we're not getting these guys. And the other way to avoid giving up a first is you give up more prospects or a higher level prospect. And ultimately, and that was the debate we had. A lot of these discussions are, do we want to give up the prospects? Do we want to give up the picks, or do we want to do nothing? And we decided this is the time to do something, and we'd rather hang on to our picks, and if we do well, we don't know what that pick is yet today. We have a range, and we don't know who that player would turn out to be. So that was the ultimate decision on why we were willing to use a first.
Hey, Steve, how close to 3 o'clock did this thing come together today with Faulk? And I guess, was there nervousness about whether it was going to happen right up to the deadline?
No, I can't remember the exact time, John, but it was little. I don't know if it was 1 or 1:30 or something.
And did you have sort of a fallback beyond that if this thing kind of fell apart for whatever reason, in terms of defense? Or was it nothing? I guess.
No, we had a couple other things. Yeah, no, I would say there's a couple other that we would have explored. I can't really elaborate on it, but we were kind of weighing a couple of different options and what it was going to cost to get this player versus Justin Faulk, and we liked what it was going to cost us to get Justin.
Steve, at the end of last year, you told us that you had brought in a number of new faces to the analytics department in that area. I'm curious how you feel that over the last few months and then going into today that helped you or shaped your perspective differently than the approach in years past, other than the context of this team performing differently this year?
Well, Brian Campbell is the head of our analytics department, and that's the person I deal directly with. We get summaries on everything, you name it, from draft analysis to contracts to everything. I deal right with Brian, so that's more of a question for him. I've met our people on our staff and talked to them a little bit, but I'm really happy with the job they're doing, and I really value their, on every player, on every trade, on every contract. Just look at it from an analytical perspective. Tell me what the numbers say, the data says, and we match that up with I don't know what the right term, with what our eyes and ears and experience tell us on the athlete or on the way we play and everything. So it's very, very helpful and helps you make all your decisions. But our staff has grown, and I think they provide us and our coaching staff with very, very valuable information. Great. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Jen. How are you? All right.
I'm so blue, yeah. I know that I can make it through. I'll keep on fighting. Watch me go. I'll be living in a better world. Ooh, you never bring me down.